NHL club that you play really well with that is capable of being an Olympian, a la Nyes and Matthews, you're more likely to kind of bring those two together as a team. Like we've seen that time and time again in the Olympics where they've done that. Like think back to what was it, that Sharks line from back of the day, Jumbo, Marlowe, and Heatley. They were there together, right? Kunitz came alongside Sidney Crosby. You know, like this is just something that we see happen from time to time. Not to say that I don't think Matthew Nyes is deserving of being on this roster himself, but I just believe if it comes down to Nyes or this player, he may get the edge because he can play and has chemistry with Austin Matthews, who you know is going to be a top line star for this American team.
Well, yeah, that's like I didn't really had considered now that you bring it up, like it makes a lot of sense because maybe they could do what they did in Four Nations, just throw Matthews with the Tkachuk brothers and see if that trio can work. But like other than being a linemate of Austin Matthews, like Matthew Nyes also ticks a lot of boxes that you brought up some really good players. But like Nyes has that dimension of he can play on the penalty kill. He can do some of the other things that maybe some of the goal scoring forwards don't do that often. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure the coaching staff, I think it's still Mike Sullivan that's coaching the U.S. Team. Like he may want to consider that because you want to make sure that you're going to give Austin Matthews best opportunity to be at his best. And if him and Nyes are, showing some really good chemistry and they're dominating this, to start this season, it's gonna be hard to break those two up.
I agree. So we'll see again the orientation camp next weekend for the Americans and Canadians to see who they'll bring to the Olympics. You don't have to be invited to the camp to get a shot at the Olympics, and there is one Maple Leaf who was not invited to the camp. I consider him a snub, who will, I think, have an opportunity to compete for a spot. So we'll tell you who that is and a couple other snubs at the U.S. orientation camp. That's next. You're on the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Have you ever decided that last minute you want to head to the ball game with your friends or family? Maybe it's a game day. You suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even bigger groups to come with you. Game Time makes it possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Price on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch. And they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worrying out of buying. That's right. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of the Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for exciting upcoming MLB games. You want to go down to the Dome, catch a Blue Jays game, go check out Game Time, and use the code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morisuti with you, as we are each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday until we get to training camp. Then we're back to 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. All Leafs, all the time, right here on the Locked On Leafs podcast. And so Matthews and Nyes will be at the orientation camp next weekend. Goaltender Anthony Stolarz will not be at orientation camp. And it's not that I think Anthony Stolarz is going to make the team or would make the team. That's probably already situated over there. Like they've got Connor Hellebuck, who's their number one goaltender, Jake Ottinger, Jeremy Swayman, probably the three goalies that they'll end up taking to the tournament. But they elected to bring a fourth goaltender to the orientation camp. And this is where I'm perplexed and where the snub status comes in for me. Dave, is Joey Daccord, fine goalie, but is Joey Daccord a better goaltender than Anthony Stolarz? I don't think so.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And like I was looking at, I want to know. I didn't even look at the goalies because I'm like, the U.S. have so many good goalies. Like, you're not really going to question who they bring. And I said, it would have been nice if Anthony Stolarz got the nod. And I'm like, they asked, they included who? Joey Decord, who, look, I understand the guy has got, he's put up some half decent numbers in his, well, actually not okay numbers.
Right.
Like the thing is, we're talking about the Olympics. We're talking about best on best. And for Joey Decord's name to be included in this is really puzzling. And look, I'm going to take the Homer aspect of it right now because Anthony Stolar's numbers, stellar. Stellar. And he played, he didn't play as many games as Joey Decord has the last couple of seasons. I understand that. But in the Olympics, it's not a long tournament, right?
No.
And I understand this is the fourth goalie, but it's just I don't understand where these federations are coming up with these, you're throwing out a Joey Decord in there. Even you look at some of the other ones. We'll get to the other ones, but Anthony Stolarz, if he had played more games, probably would have gone in the Vezina conversation last year. Yeah,
he probably should have been. I mean, let's just take a look at their statistics side by side. Like I said, fine goaltender in Joey Decord, but he's certainly not someone who I think should be getting an invite over Anthony Stolarz. Decord, 57 games last year, which is a very high number, ended up with a 906 save percentage and 275 goals against. That's good. That's slightly above league average. The year before was also solid, 50 games, a 246 goals against and a 916 save percentage. Also pretty solid, above league average. That's actually quite good for an NHL goaltender. But you want to know what Anthony Stolarz' numbers look like in those 2 years? 34 games. He had a 214 goals against this season with a 926 save percentage. And the year before, 203 with a 925 save percentage. Yeah, so we're looking at the difference between both of their years this past season. And, okay, Decord played more games and was declared the starter, I suppose. But the actual statistics, analytics, and even goals saved above expected, you look at those type of numbers, Anthony Stolarz was a far better goaltender than Joey Decord was. Even shutouts. Anthony Stolarz had 4 shutouts in 34 games. Decord only had 2, and he played 57 games. So, yeah, to me, this is a big snub. And again, I it's not that I believe Stolarz would have made the team over the other 3 goalies who were there last year at the Four Nations, but if we're talking Stolarz or Decord, yeah, absolutely Stolarz should have been invited.
Yeah, that's my, it's just if you're going to invite a goalie, a fourth goalie, then offer it to somebody who's has a better track record in terms of performance. I'm not talking even about experience or games played because, again, situation different. Stolarz was a backup 2 years ago. This past year, he was playing in my opinion, the toughest division